y'all. Welcome to Burn It Down with Kim Brown, the Tuesday edition. Your number one auntie checking in, reporting for duty. How is all my fire famers doing out there this evening? You good? You surviving? You making it? All right. Well, that's the best that we can do at this point in time. At this point in history, certainly given our extenuating circumstances as the United States appears to be, I wouldn't say in the midst of a bloodless coup, but I submit that we have been captured by the oligarchs for way longer than the start of the second Trump administration. Now it's just being laid plain faced and very bare for all to see. And anybody that chooses not to accept it, those that still trying to hold on to the fact that they are clinging to the myth that America is a democracy, please absolve yourself of such childish things. Okay. When I was a child, I subscribed to childish things like America is made for everybody, liberty and justice for all, everyone is treated equal. Clearly bullshit, right? Because if you are a billionaire oligarch who may or may not have even been born here, definitely not born here, Elon Musk. Apparently, you can get the keys to the castle if you kiss the right ass and if your bank account is big enough. And that is exactly what we are witnessing, everybody. We are going to get into a couple of the latest developments. Of course, if we were to devote time to all of the Trump chicanery, we wouldn't get off the air. when could we sign off and or log off? I suppose the answer would be never. But now is not the time, I suppose, to shrink away from the fight. You know, estamos en la lucha. Sí, verdad, claro. How's everybody doing? Shout out to all my fire famers that are in here checking in. Sugar Shan, what's up? Teresa, what's up? Swabber Ferret, what's up? Anna Abby, Mama Lorraine, what's up? Who else we got in here? We got Project Dystopia in the building. Thank you so much. Warren Aura is in the building. Thank you so much. My nieces, Alicia is in here. My son Tyler is in here. Is Valley Girls in here? I love all my posts. Jean Lamont Films. Come on in here. KJ Sakuma, what's going on, bruv? Chichi Macha. Wendy, thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Holly Horn. All of our Canadians checking in. Shout out to all of Canada except Drake. Yeah, buddy. It's going to be a hard time for Drake. What's up, Teresa? Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you guys being here with us. Who else we got checking in? Denise Columbia shared us on Blue Sky. Whoa, that's cool. Shout out to everyone that's watching us different places around the web. If you're checking us out here on YouTube on the vertical stream, appreciate it. What's up to all of our folks checking in on Twitch? What's up, Northern Witch? Miss you, baby. What's up, Leah Boggs? See, listen to me. I'm all ear doctor in your name. My bad, Leah. Ear doctor should be contagious sometimes, but I'm so grateful for y'all checking in. Shout out to Latif, all of our mods. What's up, Courtney, and Abby? Dawn Bird, Afraid Not. Appreciate you guys. What's up? I said Project Dystopia, right? Thank you, Project Dystopia. Thank you so much for coming in here. And we're not going to hesitate, guys, because there's a couple of things, obviously, and rightfully so. People are discussing the takeover of the U.S. Treasury Department by Doge. I hate even acknowledge. I refuse. I'm not going to acknowledge Doge as an official government agency because, to my understanding, it is not such an official agency. It's some shit that these crackers done made up and done appointed themselves the head of. But regardless, Elon Musk and his crew appears to be on a tear through the federal government, determined to cut $2 trillion of what exactly? It seems as though they want to cut $2 trillion out of what the government helps to assist Americans to survive off of, right? Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, Head Start, all the programs that constitute our piss poor ass social safety net. Like, our safety net is so shitty at present. Like, to go away with it, just to make it disappear, you guys, it's gonna be a rocky road in store for us all. But I wanted to get right into it because I'm not going to front. When the news broke over the weekend that Elon and Trump, I guess, I don't know which one is the president. I'm not even sure. Which one took the oath of office? Because I think they both did. I think they both had their hands. Well, neither one of them had their hands on the Bible because demons can't touch Bibles. But regardless, when I heard the news break over the weekend about the Treasury Department being commandeered by Elon and his crew of minions, I'm not going to front. I wasn't sure if my disability check was coming. I was shocked to see it, to be a little honest. I was like, oh, okay, I guess Elon hasn't run all the cross-referencing of my online critique against whether or not my name is in the system under something which way or other. But the fact that I even questioned whether or not the shit that I have paid into the system, whether or not that shit was even going to appear this week, this month, it legitimizes the fact that we have valid concerns over which direction everything is going. And can I shout out to Molly real quick? Molly wrote a heater of a line. Molly said in the description, I don't write the descriptions, y'all. Molly does. And I think she said something to the effect of, is this a bloodless coup or is this a terrible 4chan joke come to life? And I said, Molly, with the words. Because, yes, this is like 4chan has emerged off the internet and it is an actual walking, talking troll with power. So let me go ahead and get into, I have some clips here that I want to play for you guys. One is the report from ABC News, the package. And then the Democrats, of course, when Trump is in office, it seems that's when the Democrats tend to fight. Anyway, I'll let them have that moment. We're going to hear from Liz Warren, and then we're going to hear for some other things. So let me go ahead and run the clips, Will. Oh, that's the other clip. So while the Democrats are out there giving speeches, the union that represents federal workers, the unions, I think there's two unions. Two of these unions have, in fact, filed suit against the Trump administration, and that's going to be explained. So, Will, let's go ahead and run the clips, please.
Sources confirming that Elon Musk has been given access to the U.S. Treasury Department's vast payment system. The move essentially puts the government's multi-trillion-dollar checkbook in the hands of the world's richest man, and his message about wasteful government spending has been clear.
Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that.
How much do you think we can rip out?
I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
The official who oversaw the federal payment system has been placed on administrative leave after he resisted giving Musk and Doge officials access to the system, which contains sensitive information about millions of Americans who receive Social Security, tax refunds, and other government payments. While Musk's team has access, it has not yet gained operational control of the system, and no government payments have been blocked. That could trigger a legal battle since the money is approved by Congress. Musk has also said he wants to get rid of the penny, noting that the 1-cent coin costs nearly 3 cents to produce.
Elon's doing a good job. He's a big cost cutter.
This weekend, Musk also taking aim at the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, which is in charge of dispensing tens of billions of dollars in foreign aid. Musk writing USAID is a criminal organization. Time for it to die.
To be clear, in shutting down which we're in the process of doing, shutting down USAID.
About 100 staffers were placed on leave after the agency refused to give Musk's team access to classified material. The team was eventually given that access. The Trump administration has already faced legal hurdles while pushing to gain more control of government spending. Just last week, Trump's executive action freezing federal grants and loans was blocked by the courts.
Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
I want to be clear about what's going on here. The system that makes sure that your granddad gets his Social Security check, the system that makes sure that your mom's doctor gets Medicare payment to cover her medical appointment, and the system that makes sure that you get the tax refund that you're owed has been taken over by Elon Musk. And every organization from your state government that uses federal money on that bridge project to the local Head Start that takes care of little kids while their mommies and daddies go to work is now at the mercy of Elon Musk. Elon just grabbed the controls of our whole payment system, demanding the power to turn it on for his friends or turn it off for anyone he doesn't like. Now, there's a second problem here. It's not just payments from the federal government that are now in Elon's control. Elon and his handful of friends now have full access to your personal and financial information that's in the system. Your payment history, your social security number, your bank account numbers. Elon now has the power to suck out all of that information for his own use. And there is a third problem. In order for this handful of programmers to gain access to our $6 trillion payment system, we don't know what safeguards were pulled down. Are the gates wide open now for hackers from China, from North Korea, from Iran, from Russia? Heck, who knows what black hat hackers all around the world are finding out about each one of us and copying that information for their own criminal uses. Donald Trump and his billionaire buddies are determined to take over this government to make it work better for themselves and worse for everyone else. And this is just the start. As we gear up for the tax fight, it will become even clearer that Trump will open the doors for his billionaires and giant corporations to find more ways to loot the government at your expense. Meanwhile, everyone else pays more for groceries, more for housing, more for prescription drugs, and more for health care. When unelected billionaires start ransacking our government offices, this is not business as usual. Nope, nothing is normal. We are living a nightmare created by Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and we need to wake up. We need to use every tool we have to fight back.
Just filed a lawsuit over Elon Musk gaining access to data from the United States Treasury. We did. AFGE, the union that represents federal and DC workers. See, we partnered with the Alliance for Retired Americans, the Service Employees International Union, and Public Citizen. Why? Because federal laws protect sensitive personal and financial information from improper disclosure and misuse, including by preventing disclosure to individuals who lack a lawful and legitimate need for it. AFGE will not just sit by while America is dismantled. AFGE is in the fight for the American public, and we're standing on business.
Now, part of me appreciates the not like us playing in the background over the announcement of a lawsuit from the federal government union. So cool. But unfortunately, proceeding through the courts is going to be a lengthy process. And in the interim, who's to say what's going to happen? And it's interesting to me that Liz Warren and the like, they do their best speeches when they are out of power. And I'm reminded of during the COVID pandemic, when the recommendations for people contracting COVID, if you would have a positive COVID diagnosis, that you were to be quarantined or separated from folks for, 10 days, 14 days, 7 days. But as soon as the airline CEOs came and insisted that that duration of time be shortened, I think to 3 to 5 days, federal policy was changed. Healthcare guidance was changed from the Centers for Disease Control. They changed it based off the whim and the word of airline CEOs. Oligarchs and CEOs, millionaires and billionaires have been running this country. They run it off of K Street. They run it via the lobbyists. They run it via all their special interest groups. And it's not new. However, the personification of this low budget Tony Stark, which is exactly what Elon is. Elon wishes he was Tony Stark, but he is not not nearly as handsome, as clever, or as courageous. He's soft as scrotum skin. I haven't pulled that one out in a while, but yes, Elon is exactly that. And I part of the concern, and again, some of the hypocrisy coming from the Democrats, pertains to all the information that Elon now has access to. And on one hand, I agree with Liz Warren because all of our data is more valuable than oil, than precious metals, right? To the 21st century, data is king. Data is the new gold. And that is the most valuable thing. So now Elon Musk apparently has access, and it wouldn't shock me. Why wouldn't he have exported this information either to himself or to perhaps another third party? And don't scare me with fucking China, Liz Warren. Like, I don't see what the fuck. You can keep China name out your mouth. China didn't have shit to do with shit. China didn't send Elon in there with the thumb drive to take everybody's data off the Treasury Department servers. Leave China out of it. It's, again, the Democrats are so goddamn feckless. They don't miss a chance to hit us with some xenophobia or some Russophobia, as though the killer isn't calling from inside of the house, right? And to be clear, let us never ever forget whatever new demonic entity is coming out of the second Trump administration. The Democrats cleared the way for Trump to have a political career in the first place. Trump was encouraged to run for president by Bill and Hillary Clinton because they didn't think that he stood a snowball's chance in hell of winning. They figured that if he were the Republican nominee, that he would be the easier opponent to defeat. But instead, look at what they have helped to unleash upon the rest of us, right? And the era of white nationalism, to my brother Kamal Franklin's point, yeah, it's emboldened and it's on swole. It's on swole right now. I want us to take a look, Will. So today, outside of the Treasury Department in Washington, D.C., I want to say there was an impromptu rally that was attended by hundreds of folks, some of which were Democratic Congress people, but I was kind of impressed with the number of folks that actually showed up to protest. And from what I'm getting from local reports, some of the Congress people that were on hand, including Liz Warren, I think AOC was out there. One of my punk ass senators was out there, Chris Van Hollen. They tried to gain entry into the Treasury Department and they were barred. They were prevented from entering, told, I guess by security, that they needed an apartment. Oh shit. Anyway, Will, let's get a quick look at some of the protest scenes that were coming out of Washington, D.C. in front of the Treasury Department. So again, a bunch of people spoke. I didn't really want to pull up all the speakers because the sound was not great. And I don't like to hear people screaming into microphones. That's my own personal preference. My apologies. I am a broadcaster. Audio quality is very important to me, but I just wanted to give you guys a peek at the pictures happening in Washington, D.C. I would imagine that this is probably a coalition of concerned citizens and government workers. That's good, Will. Uh-oh, they got to speak. Well, fuck them. Whatever. I mean, sorry. I mean, say out loud. Anyway, where's Tommy Crooks when you need him? Rest in peace to the God. Your thoughts, everybody. What are you guys thinking about all of this? I am convinced that Elon Musk is probably going to use all this information for very nefarious purposes. And when I say all this information, I do mean your information, my information. And I don't know where the ceiling is for the level of fuckery that we're about to see. For example, again, you guys know I'm a disabled person. I am on disability. I earned that shit because a bitch has been working since 14. So you goddamn right, run me my fucking money. But what if Elon applies all of his technology to cross-reference via social media posts, via bank accounts and social security numbers, who his online critics are? What if he decides to turn off the assistance that many people rely on based on our political beliefs or our ideals? It flies in the face of the United States being a democratic country in which allegedly all political ideologies are allowed to at least exist and exist openly and have a free flowing discourse of ideas, talking about policies and solutions and problems and even who our enemies are. Like, I don't know quite where this ends. You understand? And it's interesting to see, number one, the way that there are no rules. And again, I don't laugh because I think the shit is funny. I think the shit is wholly absurd, and I don't know what else to do but laugh at it, right? Because Elon Musk, his own citizenship status or immigration status, I'm not exactly clear on. I can't remember if Elon's a fucking American citizen or not. Born in South Africa, spent considerable time in Canada, and came to America like an apartheid Hakeem and Semi. He came to America in the worst way, in not the funny way, in the most uncool way. And you're giving this person unfettered access to Americans' private and sensitive information, things that are supposed to be not accessible to those who are not government employees and who have not had any known federal background check or any security clearance. So you have to laugh when these conservatives and these MAGAs talking about we're going to restore law and order. What they mean is they intend to follow the footprints of the founding fathers, right? The people who the Heritage Foundation and all of these different groups, it's their gosh, how can I say this without being explicit? Y'all know I don't have no class. but these people like to play with themselves to the Constitution and to George Washington quotes and to quotes from Thomas Jefferson. And let us be perfectly clear here, as beautifully articulated as we are the people, and all this is a nation created equally for all folks. The nation of the United States, this colonial project, was formed for white male property owners. Hetero property owners. Let's be clear. Not for women, not for enslaved Africans, not for indigenous folks, not for our Latino brothers and sisters, not for LGBTQ folks, for white male hetero property owners, capitalists. And this is exactly what Trump and Elon Musk, this is their intention, is to restore America. Not to say that it was ever wrestled from the hands of those that check off the boxes from that demographic, but any small gains that non-white male heterosexuals and property owners have made over the past 150 years, they want to do away with all of that, right? They want to deport all of the undocumented Latinos. Why? Because they want their niggas back. It's too complicated for these cracker racists to hold all of these multicultural identities in their head. They loved America when it was white people in charge and black people in the field and all of this Latino and Asian, and it confuses them and they don't like it. So they want to restore what they consider to be the natural order of things. Okay. And let me shout out real quick. I had Verizon over here earlier. Let me shout out to the young brother who came over here and hooked it up. Shout out to Derek. Shout out to the Subtle Thoughts band. Come to find out, this young man played as a go-go band. I said, we had a great conversation. But he told me, and we were talking about all the things transpiring. He was like, yeah, the young brothers ain't going for that shit. They're not going to be put back in the field. And I'm like, listen, the young brothers that's out don't have to worry about that. It's the brothers that's behind the wall right now, are incarcerated people that are going to be made to replace the undocumented workers, who, by the way, can I shout out to all the people that participated on February the 3rd in the Day Without Immigrants protest that happened coast to coast. All the people in Los Angeles. I saw them in Austin, Texas. I saw them out in Chicago, DC. It was a beautiful thing. This country, our backbone is the working class people, right? And to attack any segment of the working class is to attack all of us. So even regardless of who you think got Black people's back, it's important that we stand in solidarity with all the folks that are being attacked, because trust me, the attacks on Black folks, our freedoms, our liberties, has been continuous, ongoing, and unbroken. And we continue to fight to this day. But we're going to have to continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with the fellow folks that are on the menu at the moment, right? Who find themselves at the top of the menu at the moment. And that is real shit. So hold on. So speaking of incarcerated folks, I'm not sure if you guys caught this today. So Little Marco, we talked about Little Marco today on the Remix Morning Show on Black Liberation Media. They done sent Little Marco down to Latin America. I imagine to arm twist and bully and intimidate the leaders of Panama into relinquishing control of the Panama Canal. Let's hope that Panama does not acquiesce. But Marco Rubio, I can't even get his name out my mouth. Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, made a trip and a visit to El Salvador and spoke with the El Salvadorian president, who, by the way, is himself considered a quote, strong man. He is on the Human Rights Watch list for allegedly committing violations of people's rights in El Salvador. As you guys know, El Salvador has some issues. they had some problems, and they have constructed this giant 80,000 prisoner penitentiary in which many innocent people who were guilty of committing no crimes found themselves ensnared in a dragnet in these ambitions to so-called cut crime or bring crime down. And it was done in very, very bad ways. But Little Marco was down there in El Salvador. And guess what he said, y'all? Take a listen.
He continues with full cooperation on the returning of Salvadorians who find themselves illegally in the United States and welcome them back home. And that's already existing, and that will continue. But second, he has agreed to accept for deportation any illegal alien in the United States who is a criminal from any nationality, be they MS-13 or Tren de Aragua, and house them in his jails. And third, he has offered to house in his jails dangerous American criminals in custody in our country, including those of U.S. citizenship and legal residence.
Wow, I didn't realize that MS-13 was a nationality. So maybe can the nation of MS-13 declare war on the United States since they a nationality? This dumbass motherfucker, Marco Rubio. And Trump was asked about this today in the Oval Office. I didn't pull the clip, but it's out there for you to see. Trump seemed surprised that Marco Rubio had made this announcement. At the same time, he was in full support of it and claimed that shipping incarcerated people from America to El Salvador, he touted it as a cost-cutting measure. And we're talking about U.S. citizens and legal residents. And guys, and this is what I've been saying for a long time. And trust me, I ain't the first, I ain't the last. But that Constitution is about as valuable as that Charmin that's sitting adjacent to your toilet. Okay. You could take the Constitution and literally wipe your ass with it, because that's exactly how much value it has for persons who are not white, not male, not heterosexual, not property owners. We as Black folks never had constitutional rights. And so this, while perturbing to us, or let me speak for myself, perturbing to me as a Black person, doesn't shock me at all. And I hate that Black folks get the nigga treatment, but I really hate to see that nigga treatment extended. It's like, oh, y'all didn't know all of our, undesirables. Y'all are all different varyings of niggas. And we shall all apparently be getting the nigga treatment, right? And that's what it's looking like. So how do we fight back? I feel as though the day without immigrants is a good place to start, because we need to have a general strike. Because to be perfectly honest, that is about the only, I won't say the only, but it might be the biggest, the big joker. Maybe it's the little joker. I'm not sure. I'm giving y'all spades analogies here. But the one thing that we do have in our control, our possession, is our labor, right? And if we withhold our labor from capital, from corporate America, shit would change, okay? And it wouldn't take a long time for it to change. I think many have estimated that if Americans refuse to go to work, if we refuse to spend any money, 5 days? And then the economy would absolutely crumble. And I believe that many of our demands would be met, right? And it's really, and I know many people have been saying this for a long time, but I don't know what leaders of what groups of what ethnicities and what social classes need to come together and pick a day. we need to be united in the day. What day? Because even if you have like a job, you could take a PTO day on that day of the general strike, right? And it's going to be so important that the resistance continue on. I appreciated what we saw during the latter part of the Biden administration, with so many hundreds of thousands, even millions of people coming out to support Palestine and to protest against genocide. But now we have to protest potentially against our own genocide, right? Because if tens of millions of folks are cut off, well, if thousands and potentially millions of people are deported, and then millions of others are denied their benefits and cut off from healthcare and cut off from the resources that they need in order to survive, like the time to the life or death struggle is right now. It is right now, because we can see the slippery slope that we find ourselves on a month into the second Trump administration. It's scary stuff. It's also been reported that Elon and the fuck boys of Doge, oh god, I don't even like to say it out my mouth, because I'm like, this shit is made up. They have been visiting a number of government agencies. Reports indicated that they were at the Veterans, the VA, the Veterans Administration, earlier today. I saw a local reporter from NBC Washington. I think she was outside of the Department of Education, and she said that obviously nobody would speak, none of the employees would speak to her on camera. And she gave a quote from one of the persons that she spoke with, not on camera, but the person said, the building has ears. And y'all, Trump hasn't been in office all that long. There are obviously bureaucrats in the government who are complicit and are willing to go along with this, right? I don't see how Elon and the others have gotten such quick access to everything. And to be honest, I don't know how much resistance or pushback that some of these career federal government employees gave, if they gave any smoke. And some of them must have, because they've been shown the door, which is unfortunate. And I do find myself a little bit betwixt and between here because, excuse me, the American project, I mean, it has to fall down, right? And the problem is there's no way that this could come to an end without there being, I don't want to say BLOOD, but without there being folks that are going to be hurt by the ending of the American project, right? But I don't think that we expected it to be hastened so quickly. I don't know what this is going to look like in a month. I'm not sure what this is going to look like in a year. I am somewhat convinced that, yeah, we might have actually voted in our final final presidential election. I'm not certain if Trump and those that have emboldened him are going to be able to have the power of the government wrestled away from them, maybe ever. And if US law enforcement and the US military is going to go along with all of this illegal stuff, well, then that's that. Then that's that. I will say I follow prepper community on TikTok. Some of these folks are former military. And the former military ones are the ones sounding the most alarmist, right? The former military folks that I'm seeing on social media, observing about the moves that they are witnessing coming from the Trump administration, those are the main ones that are telling us to go get your pew-pews and to make sure you know how to use them and to make sure that you are well stocked and to make sure that you are prepared for when the collapse of routine goods and services, like power, like water, like going to the store and being able to access fresh food, like those things could be greatly compromised. And I think it would behoove us all, regardless of the social situation, we need to be prepared for those kinds of calamities regardless, as the climate continues to change and accelerate in its decline in how strong of the climate catastrophes continue to show us each and every single season. It would seem it's important to be prepared for all of that. So what can we do here, guys? Well, I think number one, we have to stick together. We got to reach out. Like I was going to say, I might even reach out to them bitch ass niggas next door that I don't like, but that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm not there yet. I need to improve and grow up and mature. I understand this. However, I think that we have created a incredible community right here. Shout out to the BIDWKB fam, the Fire fam. You guys would be surprised at the amount of connections and relationship and community building that the folks in this chat have put together, of which I am astounded and so proud and very moved by. Don't cry. But the fact that there are people in this community, in this chat, will include Black Liberation Media in there too, that actually have connected with each other out offline and that check on one another offline here. It's quite beautiful. And I know that we are greatly separated by geography. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Maryland. My nephew Dawn Hammond is out there in Cali. My sisters Anna and Mama Lorraine are out there in Washington, and maybe I shouldn't be disclosing everybody's location, but you understand everybody is far flung around here. But it's important that we at least have that, because those are the building blocks in which community can be formed, and even to the point that we can start to build and exchange even material resources. And we have to start to prepare, because who the fuck knows is going to happen. Some of I mean, and it's already not a secret where Trump is sending immigration customs enforcement to public schools, to churches, to so-called sacred places. This is exactly what the Yahtzees did when they began the programs and they began the ghettoization of the Jewish people in advance of the H cost, right? And we can't lack imagination and think that that shit wouldn't apply to us, to think that that shit would not apply in the 21st century. We got to be prepared for a fight, y'all. What that fight looks like, I don't know. It's a not cute fight. Circling back to the protest outside of the Treasury Department today, I need the Congress people to actually go out there and maybe throw hands. Like, I need y'all to act. I need the Democratic Congress people. Y'all need to go in there and act like J6ers. Go in there and tear shit up and dare them to arrest you. I called my congressman today, Glenn Ivey, who I don't like. Why don't you like Glenn Ivey, Kim? Because Glenn Ivey's the police. He is a former state's attorney, police. And he has a weird Maryland accent. He has him and Anthony Brown, who was the Maryland attorney general. They both have accents like crackers and like Maryland crackers. And I don't like it. I don't trust no niggas from PG County that don't sound like they from PG County. It's like, where the fuck did you go to school? like who, what is going on here? What kind of off black shit is this? So anyway, I called Glenn Ivey's office and gave the person who answered the phone a piece of my mind, even though I was nice about it. And I'm always nice to people that have to listen to my bullshit on the other end of the phone. I'm like, listen, this smoke I'm about to give you, this ain't for you. But you tell Glenn that I said, you tell Glenn that I said that if you're not going to go out there and put your body on the line, you can save all these wonderful bombastic speeches. Like, it's going to take the people who have some modicum of privilege, like Congress people, to go out there and really fuck shit up. And if Elizabeth Warren, if AOC, if Jasmine Crockett, y'all favorite sister girl, if these motherfuckers is about that shit, if Jasmine Crockett's really actually ready to throw hands on some of these on some of these Karens in Congress, then go in there outside of the Treasury Department, go outside of the White House and be about it. Be actually about it. Y'all are lawyers and y'all got bail money. Y'all will be fine. Stop expecting the regular people to go out there and constantly sacrifice. We need you guys to go vote and fight. No, bitch, we need you to go vote and fight. That's why you were elected into these offices, into these spaces. Not to acquiesce, not to just roll over, not to, when Democrats are in power in the White House, have majority in Congress. We don't need y'all to reach across the fucking aisle to figure out how best to work with Republicans. When Republicans get into office, they don't give a shit what Democrats have got to say about it. And Democrats have never governed that way. Or when they do govern, they try to make sure that they are more to the right of Republicans, a la Joe Biden, a la Barack Obama, a la Bill Clinton. I'm tired of it. So we can figure out whether or not, which political parties, if any, we're going to be rocking with, should there be a next election. In the interim, if you have a Democratic congressperson, call them up and give them the goddamn blues. And y'all lucky that I was late in pulling up Chris Van Hollen's number, because his office had closed by the time that I was ready to call Chris Van Hollen and give him the fucking business. But Van Hollen was out there at the Treasury Department talking shit. And I'm like, dog, didn't you just vote to confirm some of Trump's cabinet appointees? None of these cabinet nominees should be getting any Democratic votes. If y'all are really the resistance, if Trump is really the fascist that you tell me he is, then why are you giving any sort of approval or clear pathway for any of his shit to get done? It's a game. That's why. And the problem is, it is designed for us to constantly lose at every single turn. And I am so concerned for Black folks. I'm concerned for incarcerated people. I'm concerned for the migrants. I'm definitely concerned for disabled folks. Let me take a break here, guys. Speaking of disabled folks, let me remind everybody quickly that the Around the Fire Disability Support Sesh is happening this Saturday, because we are already on the second Saturday of February. I do not know the day, because what is time? what is a calendar? What is the number on the calendar? I do not know, but it's this Saturday. So I will be reminding everybody again on Friday. And of course, you can always check the community section of the channel to get that information. It's not up there yet, but it will be up there come Saturday when we have our Around the Fire Disability Support Sesh. We have a disabled community amongst us, myself very much included. So go to the BIDWKB Discord. Sister Anna is all on top of that. She will post the information there as well. And again, it will be on the BIDWKB community section. Brother Will, I was seeing boxes on boxes rolling up, rolling up. Who do we need to acknowledge?
The good brother Latif.
Hey.
We appreciate you for memberships and also for staying on these trolls' neck. Give them all the smoke. I appreciate it. Because somebody will ask some crazy question and be like, Latif be like, you know what? Hold on, let me talk to you. I got time. So shout out to you, Latif.
Thank you to Latif.
Mama Lorraine. Everyone hold hands. We're going to make it through. Much love. We appreciate you for your super chat.
Thank you, Mama Lorraine.
Teresa, we appreciate you and your super chat. And we have 160 people. But we don't have 160 likes. So like and subscribe and get to it. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Will. Thank you. And yeah, we are about 2,839 subscribers away from 10K. So if you're watching us on the vertical stream, we appreciate so much you giving us some of your time, some of your eyeballs. Please feel free to join into the chat. I want to shout out to the trolls. What's up, trolls? Hello, my enemies. May you have a very, very, very bad day. And trolls, trust me, your bad day is coming. You know, it's not just going to be the browns and the blacks and the gays out here suffering solo. No. The problem is y'all ain't got the money, because I can only assume some of these trolls, they got to be crackers. And I don't mean whites. I mean crackers. Okay. And if you're new here, we make those distinctions, okay? Because we got white friends aplenty joining us that are card-carrying members of the Fire Fam. Shout out to the radical about it whites, the John Brown Brigade. We love y'all. The crackers, y'all can kick rocks, okay? And guess what? Trump is going to start cutting your SNAP. Trump is going to start cutting your Section 8. Trump is going to start cutting your grandma's Medicare and Medicaid. And then you're going to be crying the blues. And then there's not going to be any undocumented immigrants here for you to blame. And then you're going to figure out that the joke is on you. Can I recommend a book for the whites who may be confused about where they sit in the social hierarchy? You should read the book. It's called White Trash. It's a book about class in America. It's very good. It would be eye-opening and you would be enlightened to know what the founding fathers thought about you, okay? Because Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, John Quincy Adams, these people were the gentry. They were the elites, the aristocracy of the United States. Most of the European immigrants coming to this country were Britain's cast-offs, right? Like that, they called America the sink of humanity, right? Because Britain would send their murderers, their rapists. Britain emptied out its insane asylums and put them on boats and sent them to the United States. So it's hilarious when Trump calls out, you know, they're sending us our worst. Nigga, that's all Britain sent America. That's all France. That's all they sent was their worst. And no disrespect to the Irish Americans, I will tell you, per TikTok has told me this, the Irish in Ireland do not respect you Irish Americans, by the way, because I seen this one Irish brother, a white, but he was Irish brother. He said the Irish that went to America were pussies. He said your ancestors couldn't hack it in Ireland. That's why they came to America. So again, miss me with that. The best and the brightest of Europe came over to immigrate to the United States. Never, not in the history of ever, never, never. However, the Latino folks, the Asian folks, the African folks that have come here have busted their ass and proved that they are worthy of humanity and worthy of opportunity. Let me tell y'all a quick story, and this is very quick. So I used to work downtown DC at Metro Center, 13th and G. And on the corner, there was a Au Bon Pain, right? Like what's Au Bon Pain like, y'all? Panera? Right. So they serve breakfast and croissants and all that shit in the morning. I would go down there usually when they open because I had to be to work at the butt crack ass of dawn. So by the time Au Bon Pain opened at like 6, 7 a.m., I'd be down there to go get my breakfast sandwich and some coffee. And there was an African sister there who was, I can't remember if she was the assistant manager or the manager. And she and I would converse. She was super cool. And she would tell me how some of these fucking crackers in DC would treat her and would speak to her. And I think on one instance, she may have relayed to me that someone had said to her that she didn't belong there. And I said, girl, I said, I can't remember what country she came from. I know she was from the continent. And I said, you know, I don't know, but I know what it took for you to be able to come here and for you to be able to stay here. This lady had a master's degree, right? And like not in Au Bon Pain operations, right? Like this was a highly educated woman. And that's the only, won't say the only, but primarily for people that are trying to get here on legal status, especially if you're coming from Africa, you have to show that you are skilled and educated in order to be able to remain or to become a permanent resident. So miss me, Trump, with, you know, these countries are sending us our worst, their worst. Bullshit. Absolutely not. But speaking of the worst, let me give you guys some content warnings and trigger warnings for this next story. Because it's a bit of a sad one, but at the same time, this is a cops ain't shit story as well. So while federal agencies, including ICE, including Secret Service, FBI, DEA, in addition to local law enforcement, county sheriffs, local PDs, are spending tremendous amount of time and resources trying to round up undocumented people, allegedly trying to round up the criminals, but somehow people with no criminal conviction or people who have never been charged are finding themselves the targets of law enforcement migrant sweeps. It seems as though American law enforcement is not so concerned with finding murderers. We're going to go to Douglas County, Georgia, and I saw this story today. And I saw it and I'm like, at first I had to double check that it was actually a real story because none of it tracks. None of it makes sense. And to hear the Douglas County Sheriff's very flimsy explanation as to why they let go an alleged murderer who was caught with the body in the trunk, who was only caught because they committed traffic infractions. And this person, at this point in time, on the 4th of February, remains unarrested. And I'm not certain if the person, the person who was transporting a dead body in their vehicle, I'm not sure if they have not been arrested because of the victim, who is a young Black man, or because of whoever the alleged murderer is themselves. I have questions and I have theories, but we're going to go to WSB TV out of Atlanta. And again, content warning and trigger warning because it's a sad story. So let's take a listen.
Tonight, deputies are explaining why they released a driver after finding a body in his car. The victim's mother is furious they didn't arrest him. Channel 2's Tom Jones live in Douglas County tonight. And Tom, deputies now say they did take the driver in for questioning.
Yeah, they did, Linda. They're not releasing his name right now, but they say they brought that driver here to the jail and they questioned him and he was cooperative, so they let him go. The victim's mother is angry that her son is gone and the driver is still walking the streets.
And I need answers now.
Kenya Mitchell gets emotional because she can't understand how the person she was told killed her son is still walking free.
How do you get to go home?
Get to go home after deputies say they found her son's body during a traffic stop.
In what country do you live in where you can be reckless driving and running through a red light with a dead body and not see one bit of no jail?
Deputies told me it was January 29th when they stopped a driver for traffic violations near this Home Depot on Thornton Road. But this was no ordinary traffic stop.
They discovered a deceased passenger inside of the car.
Deputies say they took the driver in for questioning, then let him go with no charges.
Why wasn't he arrested? He was released pending the outcome of the ongoing investigation.
Deputies say he was cooperative, and after consulting with the DA's office, they released him. Mitchell says that makes no sense. She says the driver passed a fire department, a hospital, and a police station and didn't try and let anyone know what happened. She says whatever statement he gave, it was self-serving.
And I need to see what proof did you have to let this man walk after he told you he shot Malachi Mitchell?
And I reached out to the DA's office for a comment. She had no comment. Some of this community wonder why sheriff's deputies didn't at least hold him for concealing a death. The sheriff's office says, once again, this is all under investigation, and they're not saying if the driver confessed to the shooting. We're live in Douglas County. I'm Tom Jones.
You guys, our condolences go out to Miss Mitchell and Malachi's family. And obviously, none of us have any answers right now. And I don't want to do irresponsible speculation, but we have seen instances in which a person either of class privilege or someone who maybe has proximity to someone powerful, someone influential, someone in politics, someone in law enforcement. It's not going to shock me that whoever the driver is, again, have you ever heard of such a thing? Have you ever heard? Tell me where any of us could ever be in proximity to a dead body. And from what I understand, if I'm interpreting if I heard that correctly, the young man, I think, was shot, right? So in what world could you ever be in close proximity to a deceased person who may have died of a gunshot wound, and they don't hold you for a little bit, right? They don't at least charge you a little bit with something, reckless driving, or concealment of a dead body or something. Like, it just seems unfathomable to me that this young man appears to be the victim of a homicide, and the person who was in possession of his deceased body was not charged with anything, and their name is not even being disclosed to the public. For all we know, this person could be a danger to the public, and people are not being made aware. So what do you guys think? Because first of all, we know that law enforcement in this country as a whole does a piss poor job of clearing homicide investigations, right? I think right now in DC for 2024, I think Washington or Metropolitan Police, they only cleared about 50% of the homicides. Cleared, I mean, charged someone and arrested and charged somebody in connection to a murder, right? That's not good. 50% is an F, okay? Like 50% in anything on any job, you fail, basically, right? This is not a pass-fail thing. 50% you fail. And this is the case nationwide with police departments. Statistically, they clear very few homicides, though I'm sure they get 100% of people with expired registration and expired license plates, but that's another story. So you're letting potential murderers walk free. You're spending your resources and efforts to try to find undocumented people, many of whom are law-abiding, right? But the person who was in proximity to this young man's unalive body, oh, they get to go free. Who was it, y'all? I don't need names. We don't need names. But yeah, like what kind of person was this? That's the point I was going to make. No, because if the suspect to me was a young black man, because as law enforcement, as piss poor of a job they do of clearing homicides, if the perpetrator is a young black person, oh, they're gonna make sure they're gonna get to the bottom of it. So I'm dubious as to what the identity of this driver, and again, I'm not exactly sure how this person should be identified in the media. Are they the driver? Are they the alleged killer? Are they the transporter? I'm not sure, but I'm curious, what proximity to power does this person have that they are being given this level of protection? Is it race power? Is it political power? Is it law enforcement proximity? I'm not certain, but please be watching and follow hashtags justice for Malachi Mitchell, because my heart obviously breaks for the families of anybody that is taken via gun violence, that is taken via police brutality or police murder. And I'm so sorry to Malachi's mom and to the rest of his family. Hopefully the police will do their actual job, though those yokel cops down there in Douglas County was not giving me a lot of confidence. So there's that. Gang, I don't think I have any more stories for you. I don't even have a palate cleanser. I do want to shout out to the sister. And if this story is still happening on Friday, maybe we'll bring it up, or maybe we'll do it on the Remix Morning Show. I don't know. Air Doctor and Kamau don't watch TikTok like I watch TikTok, so I don't know if they could appreciate this story that's bubbling on TikTok right now, and we'll bring it up on Friday. But I want to shout out to the sister. Have you guys seen this black woman from New York who has flown to Pakistan and says that she's not leaving? I said, I stan a queen. I said, listen, if I was getting that good chai and biryani, you wouldn't be able to get me the fuck up out of Pakistan either. And I want to shout out to our Southeast Asian brothers and sisters. Shout out to the Pakistanis. Shout out to the folks in Karachi. They are showing this black woman a tremendous amount of hospitality. And I have to tell you, this story is about the funniest shit. And maybe I shouldn't laugh, because it does appear as though the sister has a mental illness. At the same time, she is giving gems on social media. She's giving lines on social media. And we want to shout out to her. So if this is still a story come Friday, we will check in and do that. So gang, I'm gonna turn y'all loose. Look at that, 8:27. Y'all got off easy tonight. Do me a favor. If you haven't already liked the video, please like and subscribe to us here at Burn It Down with Kim Brown. I do accept material support. Shout out to everyone that ran us super chats. But if you want to send us some support in other ways, $ BIDWKB on Cash App, at BIDWKB on Venmo, paypal.me/BIDWKB, PayPal, and of course, patreon.com/BIDWKB patrons. Thank you guys so much for your continued and ongoing support. It is deeply appreciated. Once again, big up to the mods. You guys do incredible work here. And mods, tell me if it's too much, because I understand the trolls be finding this stream and they'd like to jump in and go in. And I know Lateef is on his job. I know Abby and Anna be on a job. Dawn Bird be on a job. Court is Shaolin shadow boxing out here. Court is yapping niggas' heads off and playing no games. And let me tell you guys, I appreciate it. I appreciate the way that the mods do a good job of trying to keep this a safe space, to use an overused phrase, right? They try to keep a lot of the riffraff down. And to be clear, you can come in here and disagree all you want. I don't have any objection to that. You know what I'm saying? But when you start talking extra greasy, that's when the mods is going to get you. Okay. And I don't, ain't no fucking free speech over this bitch. Okay. We got our warriors in the chat doing Jesus and God and Allah's work. So thank you so much to our wonderful mods. Thank you so much to the Fire Fam. Please also don't forget to subscribe to Black Liberation Media and tune into the Remix Morning Show, 8 a.m. Eastern. Also, don't forget, go over to the community section, because our good brother Will is doing a fundraiser in order to... Will, come on here. Remind the people what you raising money for again. It's not your BBL, right? Sorry. I'm a jerk. I'm such an asshole. I'm so sorry, Will. Will's not getting a BBL. Will already got a big butt. Will, come on here and tell the people what you raising the money for.
Please go to the community section.
Stop watching Martin, nigga. You done seen all the Martins. Turn Martin off and talk to the people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, have a good night. Please go to the community section.
But what are you raising the money for?
I help all my projects that I'm working to release this year. It's more information, like I said, on the community page. Thank y'all.
Yes, yes. Will is a good brother out here, you guys. Will's a filmmaker, documentarian. And we got to make sure brother Will has the tools that he needs in order to produce the art and the work that that the world needs to see and hear and feel and understand. So thank you so much to Will. Again, his fundraiser link is on the community section of the channel. And again, let me shout out to the young boy Derek, because Derek came over here and hooked the shit up. So hopefully my internet is moving much quicker. You know what I'm saying? Big up to the go-go community. Shout out to the Subtle Thoughts Band, Rare Essence, JYB, BYB. Everybody, all the folks. So thank you all so much. We will see you back here on Friday for the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Shout out to Will and Molly per usual. Shout out to y'all in the chat. Love you guys to pieces. See y'all later. Bye bye. Deuces, y'all.